So I know a lot of us spend a lot of time outside in the summertime, and you may have heard a little bit of a change in air traffic. And I had a neighbor who was really adamant about figuring out what's going on. And so I wanted to make sure that you all know what is going on with the flight patterns, because I also, and probably right now, will have an airplane fly over me that has not normally happened in the past. So here's what you need to know about the Nashville airport. We're growing. That's great news for Nashville. But that also means there's more traffic coming through the Nashville airport, and the FAA is going to have to figure out how to make the airport more efficient. So first thing I want you to know, there's two entities. Number one, BNA, which is the actual airport of Nashville. And they are in charge of where planes taxi, where they get serviced, and like where they are on the ground. The FAA, that is the federal government, the entity of the federal government that handles where planes travel in the air. And so the FAA is the one that is working with BNA right now to figure out how to get the efficiency up. So that's one thing I didn't know. BNA, planes on the ground. FAA, planes in the air, which is where you've probably experienced the trouble with the planes in the air. So here's the thing that is happening to help the airport grow. We all know it's been under construction for 3 years, but they are having to shut down certain runways. And when you shut down a runway, that means a different runway is getting more traffic. And so you may have had one plane fly over your yard every hour, and now you're having 5, or maybe even more frequently than that. Like the one that flies over our neighborhood, that runway was out of commission all summer. It's now back up, and that's probably why we may not hear an airplane coming over my house right now. But they're shutting down another one, and so that's going to disrupt traffic. So just so everybody knows, that's what's happening. The airport is having to shut down some runways, which is directing more traffic towards another runway. And so that will come and go as the runways are getting back into commission, fully functioning. Because the Nashville area is growing and the airport is going to become, probably in the next few years, an elevated airport that has a lot more traffic coming in and out of it. But then the FAA is doing one more thing. They are working really hard to try to figure out how to get planes up and over the neighborhoods as fast as possible. So I actually just wanted to read to you what they're doing so that I am not saying it wrong. So there's been no change in the flight arrival patterns for aircrafts into BNA. But the FAA is temporarily directing some aircraft on departure only to fly alternative departure headings as part of a broader FAA airspace initiative aimed at improving airspace safety and efficiency in and out of Middle Tennessee. So the FAA initiative aims to build procedures that are intended to support departing aircraft to climb altitude faster, flying higher over communities more quickly than they do today. But here's what we know about that. That means to get higher faster, it's going to be louder for the people who are closer to the airport. So they're testing these patterns right now. So the goal is to keep aircraft higher for longer on the descent as well. But the broader FAA-led initiatives are still in development, and the FAA has indicated they expect these procedural enhancements to be further developed and evaluated until at least the middle of 2025. So the FAA, the federal government, is trying some stuff right now in the Nashville airspace. Now, it's the government. Do you think one person can change the flight patterns of an airplane? No. However, BNA and FAA both have noise complaints on their website, a place where you can say, hey, I don't like how much noise is coming to my house now. One of us doing it probably is not going to affect that much, but change never happened by being quiet about it. And so I would say if you're upset about the noise, go ahead and let your voice be heard. I heard a story that there's one guy, and I don't know if this is true, but I heard the story that out of Dulles, one of the flight patterns actually really ridiculously, like it departs from being a straight line and goes around one dude's house because he filed more than 300 noise complaints with the FAA. I don't know. Can't hurt. So for me right now, I'm okay, but if you are upset about the noise from the airport, I'm gonna put the link to BNA and to the FAA sites in the notes so that you can very easily make a noise complaint if that is something that's affecting you. So follow us for more news in Nashville and let us know if there's anything we can do to help you.